Zoom likes only you. Zoom doesn't like us.
What happened?
Zoom is happy only to see you. Zoom does not want to do it for any of us.
So were you logged in on the browser also via this account?
Yeah.
That's weird. Then should have worked.
Yeah, and now it shows me that it's live.
Even I can see let me just check like our YouTube and everything to make sure it's live everywhere. I don't know. Say, Yashasvi, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I got a notification on LinkedIn and Facebook. So it's working there.
I saw on LinkedIn something is happening.
Okay, I see on YouTube. Great, we're live everywhere.
Yeah. That's good.
Fantastic. Okay.
Thank you, Yashasvi.
You're welcome. So should I make any one of you host now?
You can make one of us hosts. You can probably make one. Yeah, any of us actually, because we have to make the speakers panelists when they join. So I'm just.
Okay, I'll make you
watch.
host then.
Okay. Yeah, let's turn our videos on because, like, if we're live, people are going to wonder what's happening.
You cannot start your video.
Yes, I shall start mine. If nobody else, I shall do it.
Okay, it says that I cannot start the video because the host has stopped it. So I think you'll have to.
Oh, I've done all that. It's okay. Wait.
Let me start my video.
Oh, well, I never stopped anyone from doing anything. It doesn't give me an option to change that here. So hold on, I'll have to go to the.
Oh, make me co-host.
I'll have to go to proper Zoom settings if I have to do it, or just make you.
No. To switch on the videos, you have to make people co-host.
Make me co-host.
I've made ma'am a co-host, and
you need to make us co-host. I think.
I've made both the MyCaptain Power Talks co-hosts.
Oh yeah, there I am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Hi.
Okay, everybody's co-host.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just switch it on in 2 minutes.
Yes. We need to see all the hard work you've done. That's why I need it on. Okay, so we already have 15 attendees and we're still 8 minutes to go. So that's awesome. Really happy to see all of you here. And you guys can hang around and listen to this nonsensical chatter, which will begin at exactly 5 p.m.
Why don't you ask them who they are and where they are from and all of that?
Sure. So I'd love to know where you guys are coming in from, and if possible, can you also put one thing that you're looking forward to take away from this session? Put that also in the chat, so we can address those things and make sure that we're clarifying all your questions. I'm going to be watching the chat, so I'll say hi whenever you say hi to me. So please put your name and say hi. Okay, I see Charanpreet sir. Let me just make sure. Shrishti, you make it aspire for her. Charanpreet sir, I've made him a panelist. Do I see ma'am?
Ma'am, you need to send the message to panelists and attendees.
Oh, yes. I always forget, jumping between webinars to Zoom. Yes. Yashasvi, well done. Okay, fantastic.
I know.
Thank you.
Manage this no matter what.
How do you do this?
I don't know. I don't know why it didn't work for Shrishti. It should have.
Last time it worked, right?
Yeah, because I did exactly the same thing what she was doing.
But then you different laptop must be an issue with that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, now we're all good.
Just be Zoom.
So we're good. Yeah. We just require somebody to start.
Hi, Jyotsna. Really happy to see you here.
Where is
your Charanpreet, sir?
he's there. Just
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
there. Yeah, I'm
oh,
there. I
there he is.
can't enable my video because you need to let me
Oh
know.
yes, I shall.
Hi, CP. Hi.
Hi, Madhura.
So good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, here I
Hi
am.
sir, how are you?
Hello.
I'm good. I'm good. So I'm just going to test my headphone because if it works, then the audio quality becomes much better and I can hear people better also. So I just test it once and then I know I have to carry the burden of the headphone all through, but still I think it makes sense. So yeah. So is am I audible with this on?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Is it's better than before, right? The audio quality, or is
it's
it
slightly clearer.
Yeah,
it's clearer?
it's
Yeah. So I
It's a
just
little feeble, but it's clear.
sorry.
It's feeble compared to the previous one, but it's clearer.
It's feeble, is it? Or
A
very?
little bit.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I'll be happy to talk like this if
this
this
is good
works.
actually.
Yeah,
This
that's
is good.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, actually this is good. I think this is fine.
Good.
Have we got Matangi?
And not yet. I'm just monitoring the attendee list. Not yet.
Actually, I think the last conversation we all had, we thought that you are shifting it to 6 because that's a better time. So we were all planning for 6 o'clock.
Okay.
6 or
No,
6:30.
I had some conversation with my captain team, and then we decided we'll stick to 5.
Yeah, so that happened internally for you guys. So Matangi was like, "Is it at 5?" I said, "Yeah, this mail says so." So I think she was
No,
probably
I think
checking
our
something.
bad. We should have kind of said that no, it is now
Yeah.
not at 6 but 5. Yeah, we did have that conversation around 5 and 6, but then we said it's a Saturday, and there are many of these other things which are there with my captain's sort of coordination. So we said it's okay, it'll just be all right.
So I'm just
Already
sending
we
a.
see a lot of people with 4 minutes to go. Yep.
I know.
I'm just sending
Nice to
this
see
to
all this
Matangi.
excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen any introductions from you guys in the chat. Please feel free to put in a hi, your name, where you're from. Even if you don't want to tell me like your expectation in the session, it's okay. Just say hi.
I think we're gonna.
Hi, La.
Hey,
Hello.
hi.
Hi, Madhura ma'am. Hi, Charanpreet sir.
Hi.
So good to see you.
I hope you both are doing well today.
Yes, thank you, Ela.
So far we are good. Yeah.
Shrishti, I think we can start the recording also now.
I think we can start after a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Acha, okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah. I think Matangi should be there. Yeah.
Not yet. I don't see her in the attendee list.
I have sent her a message as well.
Okay. Are we expecting Kaushik sir to join as well?
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he probably
Joining?
is already there. Yeah.
should we get him on the panel? He'll be nice because then he can see the questions and all of that.
Okay, I just see him. I will get him on the panel.
So Matangi's just responded. She's joining. So she should.
Okay, great.
Yeah, she's very,
So
very.
one quiz question for all of you, okay, on the panel now. Okay, for how many years do you think I know CP? Okay. Answers on the chat box, okay. How many years? Trivia question.
Let's say 5, 6.
Okay, Shantam is saying 10 years, Kabita Singh is saying 10 years, and Yashashvi is saying 5 to 10 years. Okay. Any other
How
guesses?
about-
5 to 6.
How
5 to
about
6
childhood
years?
friends?
3 years, Anirudh. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. Anything else? Sorry, what did you say, Ila?
Childhood friends?
Okay.
Wow.
No. Okay.
People are saying 20 to 37, 8.
Okay. Somebody's got it, CP. All right. Okay. Hirak Jyoti Bharadwaj. Okay. You win the prize for, but though you have a very wide sort of a data set. So in a data science webinar, I'm not sure how this 20 to 30 years will look like. Okay. I think you need to be a little more exact, but yes, you sort of hit the bar on the head, not the nail, because it's a very, very large thing that you got. But thank you, Hirak Jyoti, for that. And yes, so it's a pleasure, therefore, to have him here in a different avatar as the founder and director of Praxis School. So very, very happy. And congratulations, CP. I believe Praxis is doing very well and you have got some fantastic sort of awards and accolades.
Yeah, no awards actually, ranking. I mean,
Ranking.
Yeah, so we ranked 2 All India.
Right.
And and the first one is the IIT IIM ISI program.
Right.
So as I say that among the mortals, we are number 1. Right?
Maybe, maybe you will look at beating them also at some point in time. So
yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. You have 3 giants together, and also look at their combined heritage of it's very difficult. I mean, yeah, and also they have a lovely program, and it's a 2-year diploma program. Ours is a certification program, 9 months. So even to compete with that and come into is tough. It's very tough. So we have Narsi Monji's 2-year program as 3, and Goa Institute Management's 2-year program as 4th. So yeah, right. So tough place to hang on to. I mean, that's the challenge now because the people who are just with us or behind us are much larger and renowned institutions. So yeah, it's going to be very tough. But we have to enjoy it while we have it.
oh, absolutely, and we are all with you on this journey. I think so. All of us that aspire for her are here on this journey with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and Matangi ma'am's just joined.
Fantastic.
So it's 5 o'clock on the dot.
Okay, I will just make her co-host.
Matangi is going to scare all the girls. She's going to say everybody has to learn coding. I love it the way she says it. Yeah, it's going to be great.
No, but coding is a life skill, right? I mean,
I started loving coding for the last 2 years at least. Like I'm so madly in love with coding.
So you have a great great opportunities ahead of you if you like coding. Yeah. Hi, Matangi.
Hi,
Ma'am.
hi everyone. Hello.
Hi, Matangi. Lovely to meet you. Madhura.
Same here. Hi, Mudra. Same here. Yeah. Hi. Nice to meet you, and great to know some of the things that you are doing.
Yeah.
Happy to be part of the talk today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh yes. Hi, Yashasvi.
Hi. Actually, I wasn't gonna attend the webinar because I have an exam tomorrow, but I don't feel like leaving.
It's okay. You can say you were listening to 2 amazing speakers. So I mean, nothing else you need, no? Just say that.
Yeah. Very, very pleased to meet you, Chanpreet sir and Matangi ma'am.
Yeah, good to meet
Same
you.
here.
Yeah, good to meet you. Good to be part of this platform. I think we need to add we'll try to add as much value as we can to this because I think it's a great initiative. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, we have some amazing people. We have, you can see Sneha, Yashasvi, and I think there's Srishti out there under Aspire for her. So 3 of our very, very bright people who run a lot of stuff at Aspire for her. Our team is very young. The only average being sort of pulled up by my age. Okay.
Yeah, so we call it the outlier in data science terminology. So, yeah,
Okay.
right, yeah. So it unfairly takes up the average, right? So
It does. It
yeah.
does. It does. I'll take outlier as a compliment and in a Malcolm Gladwell sort of way. So that's all right.
We are all outliers here, actually. So Matangi teaches at Praxis, and she's one of the most no-nonsense profs we have. And people can't get by. And she teaches text analytics, right, which requires hardcore coding, yeah. And for the Bangalore batch, and people are alternatively scared and fond of her. So depending on whether they've done their stuff or not.
Okay.
I have to say I am very scared in the sort of presence of all of these academicians. I always feel like a student when I meet you guys, and feel very, very worried that, I'll say something wrong or do something wrong.
So yeah, so even in our we have a conference that we both go to. It's called Cypher, which Analytics India magazine holds.
Yeah, I do know about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we most people talk about data science and they talk about vision and all that. Matangi's workshops are the main. She almost makes them code in the conference. That, this is how and people are sitting on the floor with their stuff out and yeah,
That's
outstanding.
amazing.
I'm
Amazing.
super inspired already.
Hope so.
Want to start, Sneha? I think we've
Yes.
got a yeah.
You are 98 participants. We'll very soon make it 100, I'm sure.
Yes.
So yes, thank you so much for joining all those who've come in. And I can promise you this is going to be one super insightful session with lots for you to take back home from here. And before we dive into the session, a little bit of an introduction to Aspire for Her and MyCaptain. So I'll hand it over to Madhura ma'am for a brief intro to Aspire for Her.
Thank you, Sneha. So, Aspire for Her is a platform that got launched on the 8th of March 2020. So, we're just about not yet 8 months old. And we launched this looking at the gender statistics coming out of India. Again, data science is everywhere in life. So, I really love the fact that we're doing this session today with all of you. We were looking at the reducing participation of women in the workforce, and we were looking at India's position in the Global Gender Gap Index, which has steadily been declining year after year. And we thought that someone has to do something, and that's how Aspire for Her was born. And that someone had to be us. So that's what happened. And we are looking at motivating young women in India, 18 to 25 years old, to enter and stay in the workplace and to have awesome careers. In order to encourage them and motivate them to have awesome careers, we also have to show you the previews to all of those careers. And of course, data science as a career path has become extremely popular over the last few years. And that's how we thought that this engagement with us, with the data science, top data science experts in the country will be absolutely amazing. So a warm welcome to Charanpreet Singh and Matangi Shri, who are counted among the top data science thinkers of our country today. And we're so happy that they will be there to take us through our journey of what a data science career could look like. So I know CP for a really long time, and I'm very, very happy that you guys took the time to come and be here with us this Saturday evening. And Matangi, really looking forward, after all that we have heard about you, really looking forward to being a part of this session, because I always feel that I learn a lot at the end of each of these sessions. So once again, thank you very much for all of you who joined us. If you're not a member or a supporter at Aspire for Her, we really urge you to look at the links. So the team is going to put out the links, and just please ensure that you do become a member and or a supporter before you leave. Any men can join us as supporters, so that's just fine. And women who are 18 to 25 can join us as members. All our work gets done by very young women themselves. So you see Sneha here. Sneha is not yet 19 years old. Yashasvi and we have Shrishti here. All of them are part of our very young team who actually run Aspire for Her on a day-to-day basis. We are delighted to partner with MyCaptain. And Sneha, I know that you'll probably let Ela talk a little bit about MyCaptain, but it's an amazing partnership which we have really enjoyed over the last few months. So really looking forward to this session, and thank you very much for being a part of our platform today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And let's also, Mother Giva, you were saying something?
I wanted to say thanks, Madhura. It's a great initiative and a great thing that you're running. I'm happy to be part of this talk and, address some of the young minds in the country. Talk about, technology. And I totally agree with you. The women presence in, especially technology. Yeah, I'm happy to, contribute in any way that I can to improve the workforce in diversity. I'm so glad to meet you as well.
Thank you. Let's also tell all the participants about the contest that we've applied for, the Super Happy News.
Yeah. So we've actually applied for an international contest under Open IDEO, and this is about reimagining giving. And what we are experiencing at Aspire for Her is a true reimagination of the way giving happens in our country, because everyone comes and gives time. We have mentors who are CEOs, CXOs, people from all walks of life. We have members and supporters, people like yourselves, who are all giving their time. Our young donors, some of whom you see here on the panel, they all give their time, they volunteer to ensure that Aspire for Her becomes like a true movement, which will actually change the needle of the diversity equation of our country. So we thought of applying for that in a scholarship. It's not a scholarship, it's actually just a contest. We thought of just applying for it. It's an international contest. And we'd love it if you could just vote for us. And if you like our work, maybe at the end of this session, and that we would really be very happy if you find time to put in a comment or put in a sort of a like at the end of it. We'll be very happy if you have time to do that. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sneha, for reminding me about that.
And I've shared the link to our entry to the contest in the chat. So I'd really appreciate if you could support and just give us a like. And now over to Ila to talk a little bit about MyCaptain.
Hello, I'm so sorry. Is my video and audio properly audible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So hello everyone, my name is Ela and I am from MyCaptain. To give you a short brief about what MyCaptain does, it's actually an online platform which offers various introductory courses or workshops in various professions, so that the young, the young students, the beginners, the beginner professions will get a chance to experience life into that profession rather than just going into engineering, just going into medicine. There are various opportunities that are present in outside, and for some particular reasons, the way that we are living, or the school college that we are studying, because of that we might not get a chance to explore these courses, to live a life as a photographer or to live as a life as a data scientist. So to give you a proper a glimpse of what kind of job opportunities, or what kind of tools, or what kind of industry standards that are set for various professions, and everything else is covered in these courses. So these courses are offered to beginner people, and we also have many courses under data, which comes under data science, and we are very glad that we can speak to such amazing personalities like Charanpreet sir and Mathangi ma'am. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much to be here.
Thanks, Ela.
Thank you, Ela. Okay, and now without further ado, let's get to the best part of the event, which is speaking to our amazing speakers. So before we begin, I'll just give a little introduction to both of them. You don't need much of an introduction, but still. Charanpreet Singh has been a part of the corporate world for over 20 years and has a rich experience in industries and IT organizations like Tata Steel, PwC, and Hewlett-Packard. He established Praxis with the mission to create business leaders equipped to navigate the world increasingly driven by data and technology. The Praxis Data Science program is consistently ranked in the top 3 programs in the country across analytics magazines and mainstream media. Charanpreet has also been a visiting faculty at prominent management institutes like the IIMs. His areas of academic interest include technology, data science, brand management, and communication. A very warm welcome to Aspire for Herself.
And thanks very much. I'm very happy to be here.
And now over to Mathangi ma'am. She's a renowned data science leader in India with over 11 patents and grants, plus 20 plus patents published in the area of intuitive customer experience. She has 16 plus years of proven track record in building world-class data science solutions and products. She's adept in machine learning, text mining, NLP technologies, and tools. She has built data science teams across large organizations like Citibank, HSBC, and various startups like PhonePe and GoCheck. She's an active contributor on machine learning to many premier institutes in India and has been recognized as one of the phenomenal she by the Indian National Bar Association in 2019. A very warm welcome to you as well, ma'am.
Thank you, Sneha. Glad to be part of this.
And now moving on to the questions.
I'll take 1 minute, Sneha, before we just move on. I think there's an announcement which we wanted to make, and we wanted to tell all of you that we're very, very happy that Praxis has tied up with Aspire for Her to, in fact, offer this kind of career preview into data science careers. And they will be, this is just the first of many engagements that we will have. And they will be offering us very, very good insights into careers, professions, all related to data science and anything else that sort of come out, down the road. So thank you very much for that, CP and Matangi. We are really looking forward to this journey together. And we hope that we both grow as organizations and as institutions. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Madhura. Honor to partner an institution like Aspire for Her. Yeah, thank you.
And now moving on to the questions.
Yeah.
Sarandeep, sir, what made you so inclined towards data and technology and encouraged you to start a program in data science at Praxis as far back in 2011, when the word about data science and the hype wasn't as much as it has been for the last 2 to 3 years, so to say?
Yeah, so if you look at Praxis as an institute, it's a very young institute as institutions go, right? We are, I think, now just about 13 years old as an institution, and the people who set this institution up had the benefit of good education and had worked in some good companies. So we thought that if we get together and start an institution, we should be able to kind of add value in some way. The second thing that was common to most of us was that we had a pretty good understanding of technology, and also we also agreed on one thing, that most of the progress that we've seen in humankind has happened through progress in technology. Okay, so I mean, whether you start with fire or the wheel, right up to the self-driven car. Okay, I mean, if you look at when life has changed for all of us, what we were 20, 30 years back, some of you weren't there. I mean, the one I'm talking to, ones who were, and the way we live has changed, and all that is kind of driven by what has technology offered us, right? So tech cannot be separated from life anymore. That's one. And secondly, I think since we were setting up a management institution, we also felt that you cannot separate management from technology. If you have to manage business, you have to understand what technology can do for you, and you have to use it fruitfully. So you need to be tech savvy in that sense. You need not be a geek, but you need to be tech savvy. So that was one part. The second part was we were capable of doing it. So it's good to have ideas, but we also had the kind of people who understood this and could create. In 2011, I think what really happened was that we started looking at the beginnings of this digital world that we talk about, and we also felt that lots of data is going to get generated because of this, and slowly data skills had started making that that move towards being important. And we were one of 4,000 B schools and completely lost, and we said that this is an area maybe where we can focus, because so when we look at in any management, when you look at where do you want to position yourself, one is the market, is it going to grow, and we realize that data skills are going to grow. Number two, are we good at it? Yes, we were good at it. And number three, what was the competition doing at that point in time? We did not see anybody kind of coming in, and there was it wasn't a crowded space. So that's why in 2011 we kind of started this program, and it has evolved dramatically between when it started and where it is now, in terms of content, in terms of the demand. We thought it will grow big, but we never thought it will grow as big as it has actually grown. I mean, it's just exploded. I mean, absolutely. So, and with COVID, and let me tell you, I mean, in the last 6 months, our digital journey across the globe is kind of traversed 5 years. So so again, there is, I think post this, these skills are going to become even more, what should I say? I mean, they're going to be going to become citizen skills. It's not only going to be a data scientist. I think everybody is going to become, have to kind of become a data professional. So we are now in this whole realm of creating data professionals. And even in our PGDM, which is our mainstream management program, we have a lot of tech and data in it, because we really feel that this is what what people will need to be good at if they're going to be able to navigate the digital world, if they're going to become leaders in this world, if they're going to become successful. I think irrespective of whether you're in finance or marketing or research or HR, you will have to understand technology, and you'll have to be good at data. So we believe this very passionately, and we also believe that we can do something in this. So that's why we did that. So I mean, if that answers your question.
Yes, completely. And I completely agree with that. Technology has become such an integral part of our everyday life that doesn't seem to be like a separation between life and technology. Just one thing now.
Yeah. So.
And now moving on to Matagi ma'am. To start with, I'd really like you to explain to all our viewers what data science actually means. Because there are several terms that we keep hearing these days, like business analytics, data science, machine learning, IoT, AI, and things like these. And it could get pretty confusing for a layman. So it would be really nice if you could give us a little bit of an introduction to what these actually mean.
Sure. Yeah, so I agree and I see the need for some level of definition. Um, I hope you guys can hear me, right? Like,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
You can be a little louder, Mathaji.
Yeah, I think little louder will be better, I think.
Yeah.
I think Jyotsna also mentioned, CP, that you could be a little louder. I don't know whether
Okay.
hers was, CP's was quite all right, but
I'll just come closer to, yeah. Yes.
yeah, is this better?
Yes, ma'am. This is better.
Yes.
Okay, so I do agree that it is fundamentally a lot of confusion between the different terms, and there is a lot of media buzz around this branch of technology, right, in data science. So, meaning at some end, at some level, they are all the same. At least when people, you could use artificial intelligence, data science interchangeably. Analytics is slightly different in terms of analytics is more a decision that you take time. Um, Sorry, I'm hearing some other.
You're fine. Yeah.
You're fine. Okay. So analytics is more a point in time, a point in time decision making process, whereas data science is more, I would say at large scale and real time decisioning systems and things like that. But at the core of it, these are decisioning engines, right? So how the information technology world kind of automated the, your regular processes, right? Ticket booking process or CRM kind of process or your manufacturing process, etc. Data science is the equivalent to automate the decision making process, right? So if there are about if there is a set of decisions an organization is making, for example, let's say whom to give a credit card to, which kind of people to send the marketing email to, or whom to send the push notifications to, etc., right? So these are decisions that organizations were traditionally making, right? And data science kind of automates that in a sense that data science systems can make these decisions at large scale looking at the underlying data at hand. So AI is a fancy term used for a similar process, right? IoT is, it's not so much about, it is the hardware of the technology. So you could have data science models connecting IoT, or you could even hear edge computing, for example. Those are data science models running on your phone, right? But at the end of it, these are core machine learning or computer science driven models. Analytics, on the other hand, evolved more from statistics, and maybe provide insights and reports and dashboards to decision makers rather than making the decisions on their own. So that kind of fundamentally lies the difference.
That was very clear. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
And now that we've we've seen that the entire technology of data science and analysis, it's practically there in every domain in today's world. Because I mean, if you're looking at retail, we're looking at social media, we look at banking, transport, almost everything has data generation and hence has a role for data science in it. So, but what do you think are some of the largest domains or industries that are benefiting from data analysis or using these tools and techniques on the data so that they can derive the insights on them?
Almost all. I don't think anything can be left out from which is not benefiting by, data science. Because you mentioned analysis also, there's fundamentally tons of industry benefiting. Of course, there are forerunners. Some organizations have adopted it much more than some of the other ones. For example, the digital first companies, right? Or companies like the big tech companies, big five tech companies like Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, and all that, who have Google, of course, so who have data as the core. So they all use data science, run machine learning models, take large scale decisions on what a customer would like, where the customer is going. For example, your GPS system, your recommendations when you buy something in Amazon or Flipkart, or the driver, where how should the person, which driver should the order be allocated in case of Swiggy, or it is just omnipresent across different companies. And in large companies, data is the biggest decision maker. Not to forget the role of banks. Banks have been the forerunner in the industry, like at least the credit bureaus, which is around 170 years old, I think. These some of the credit bureaus that started out in the US. So banks have been using data for a very long time, even before possibly even before the boom of the initial usage of internet even happened, right? So banks have used it for decisioning again on whom to give a loan to, how much interest rate to charge, etc. So that way it is fairly there everywhere. Adoption depends on different companies.
Okay. Charanpreet, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, I think that the combination of data and technology has actually disrupted business models across industries. So, it's not just about improving what you were doing. So you wouldn't have an Uber or an Airbnb. Airbnb is the largest hospitality company in the world, and they don't even own a pillow, right? Forget about a hotel, right? Property. And they've done it through, a combination of data and technology. Same with Uber. Facebook doesn't create any media, but is the largest media company in the world. And so I think that one is the traditional industries that used this, are using this to improve their whole thing. And there are new industries or new business models being set up, which are completely disrupting, existing models. So if you are skilled in these, if you understand this technology and the data and the whole thing, you can actually make, leaps which are quantum leaps in what you're doing, and not just an improvement on what was happening. Because it's not just about improving productivity, which is what IT used to do. It is now going beyond that, right? So yeah, so I think that's something that that's the exciting part actually. So if I were a bank, I would be more scared of somebody like Paytm than another bank. Or what next is coming. I don't even know who's going to come and steal my business next. I mean, that kind of thing. So yeah.
True. And now that we've seen that practically every domain has some use for data and data analysis in it, what kind of jobs and roles are available within this domain? So we've seen that data science or analytics is a very broad term on its own. So what are the various aspects or jobs that go into this, and what are the different kinds of roles that are available in this field? Matangima, you can go first.
Okay, I was waiting for Charanpreet to answer. So.
Go ahead.
So yeah, there are fundamentally, if you look at like this, there are 3 or 4 job areas in the field of data science. It kind of maps closely to the life cycle of how you build a predictive solution or AI solution. One is the initial inception of the data. So there are data pipelining systems that bring the data. There are data instrumentation systems that brings the data. So that would be the job of a data engineer, who is kind of either instrumenting data from very source logs of different components, because today organizations run tech organizations run with a lot of microservices, right? So these are people who pull data from the logs written by these microservices into some tables that people downstream can query. That's one set of job, right? These are data engineers, and they need to have skill sets to work with some of these large scale cloud based systems. Plus they should also know things like MySQL, or any other big data, and all those kind of jobs pertain to this area of data engineering. Then from data engineering, so that's the pipeline, and then data gets dumped in tables. So then there are product analysts, business analysts, and all, who are querying this data, making decisions easier for business folks or some other stakeholders in the company, who would want to look at data and make decisions. So that also brings me to one point. Even if you are, for example, a hardcore marketing manager or a product manager or something, you are not very far away from data. You need to have your own skill sets to consume and interpret data. Nobody is going to sit and interpret that for you, right? So there are a set of people who help decision makers decide based on data. So that would be your business analyst, product analyst, and they will do a lot of your data analysis. They answer questions on why does the business metric is going down, or why is the cost savings not happening, etc. So these are people who are crunching large scale data, and also enabling some of the downstream business users or product users to kind of make their own decision. That's role number 2. Role number 3 would be, we could call somebody as into analytics, these are kind of comes with the titles of analytics consultant, or a role called decision scientist. These are people who apply more of statistics, get more of rigor to understand the underlying data, may be able to explain some of the causal patterns that are going in. So why is something doing well to why is something not doing well? For example, these are people who would be thought leaders in the data organization and help set up an experimentation pipeline. How do you say, for example, a new page that an app launched is successful or not? How do you experiment? What should be the right level of split and number of records that you should have to have a meaningful experiment in place? So that would be kind of role number 3. And then you have the data scientist per se, right? Who's going to build these machine learning models, who's look at some solutions, build long-term solutions, right? So possibly these are your people who are building your forecasting systems or pricing systems, or these are the people who are building recommendation engine, people who build how the search system should work, the algorithmic search systems, right? So these people have a lot of algorithmic impact is extremely important. Plus, of course, they should be, able to, crunch the data, put these algorithms using a tool like Python or R. So, like in this branch itself divides into a little bit, thinner, which would be, one is the core data scientists. Then you have people who specialize in things like image processing. There are people who specialize in, voice and audio mining kind of things. There are people who are just into machine learning. So, and then there are of course people who do NLP, right? Who are specialists in that area. So from there, we move to the next set of the life cycle, which is taking these models to production, right? So we want these large scale models to run at scale, to crunch possibly million transactions per second or something like that, or million searches a second. So then that would be the job of an ML engineer, right? So who also needs to know some level of algorithm, etc., but they need to know the systems that can run these algorithms at scale. So they might be working on Spark, or they might be able to set your Spark clusters. They might figure out what is the right machine learning engine that should be running at scale be able to construct pipelines from Redis, etc., and be able to run these models at scale. So that is another job that is evolving, and that is called the ML engineering portion. All these four people come into data science. I'll take few more seconds and explain one more job role also that's coming in this area, which is called data science program managers, who are basically when a data science product is built, right, you want to make these products very useful for the rest of the folks in the company, right? Maybe these products are, certain self-serve analytic dashboards, or these are self-serve modeling pipelines, or these are products that the company also wants to kind of exposed to outside clients. And these people know no amount of data science, but then they also can engage with external and internal stakeholders, make sure that these products are well adopted, they are able to receive the feedback and pass it on to a product manager, etc. And also conduct large scale help conduct in large scale trainings and things like that, right? So these would be your data science program manager kind of role. So that is another role that I see evolving in some of the tech companies. Yeah, so those are the key jobs in the data science. Of course, then there are other things like, if there is a data science service organization, then there is an account manager, there's a client servicing manager, etc., who also are supposed to know data science, but then they are facing more the business side and or a client, and they're responsible for answering some questions or making deliverables faster. Yeah. Over to you, Charanpreet.
Yes, I did have that's been a great answer, but I had a little more in-depth question for Sir, because he's graduated so many batches of data science students at Praxis and from the data science program over a period of so many years. So how have you seen these roles or jobs develop and change over these years?
Yeah, first of all, I think Matangi answer is amazingly comprehensive. Maybe, yeah. So really puts everything in place. And although she said it in 5 minutes, it takes time to kind of, assimilate all of that for beginners. But I think it's a good way to start. At least, there are, and because the footprint is expanding as the whole thing evolves, right? So I have seen something very interesting. We started in 2011. The world was very simple. Humankind, I think we basically like to make our world more and more complex as we move forward, right? So at that point in time, we had data warehousing, business intelligence, statistics had become big at that time. And SQL was always there, because unless you can extract data, you can't do. So those are the kind of skills that we used to teach. And there was SAS as a tool, right? And then if you look at what we do now is very different. But jobs, the JD kept becoming more and more expansive. Okay, as people realize that this whole domain requires more and more skills. So I think between 2011 and 2016-17, finally the job descriptions that we used to get look like, you want some Superman or Superwoman to do all these things. So everything that Matangi said used to be part of that one JD, starting with creating the pipeline right up to DevOps, which is the machine learning engineering thing that she spoke about. And we used to wonder that the person who's coming to interview, whether he or she understands all of this and is good to test somebody like that. And it was like, yeah, it was like quite a scary kind of a JD. But then we realized that nobody really expects to get somebody, and then visualization. I think one part of data science that, are you good at telling the story? Can you make it easy for people to understand what you've done? I think over the last 2-3 years, what we've seen is more maturity in this JD thing. And now people are looking for specializations. So data engineering is emerging as a separate field by itself, which is more to do with understanding data. If you were a database administrator in the past with the traditional architecture, can we move you to a Hadoop environment and a cloud environment and make you a data engineer who will create those pipelines and all of that? And we're looking at separation of analytics from data science, and also moving forward, maybe an ML engineer. So now, so even people within Praxis kind of can pick and choose what they want to be good at. So that is one part of it. The second part of it is that we are launching a program in data engineering now in January or February coming, because we feel that itself is going to be one huge area of growth. And in fact, the number of people that you require in data engineering is more than the number of people you want as people who build models. But it's not yet as glamorous, a role as a data scientist. A scientist is always more glamorous than an engineer, right? I mean, okay. So I think that so we've seen things evolve. I think they're now going to a place where companies are also a little more aware of how they classify roles and how they recruit people. So we also can kind of predict better what are the skills they'll be looking for in a particular JD. So I think that's why the way it's moving. So I think from something small to something very complex and monolithic to now specializations and again some sanity, if I may call it that. Right, that's what's happening. Right.
Okay. I mean, we've seen that it's developing in this manner, and there are so many diverse roles available in data science for different kinds of people. So, I mean, that actually means that each of these roles are going to have a different kind of skill set that is required. Some could have technical skills, some could be soft skills, some could be a combination of both. So, I mean, we've often heard this myth about the entire industry that, learning any one tool from either R, SAS, or Python is sufficient for a data science career. And you worked with so many data scientists and recruited so many of them. So, from your perspective, what are those few things that are very essential to make a mark in this industry? So, it could be what kind of skills, could be technical, soft skills, could be what kind of tools that are required. And a little follow-up question to that: is it necessary to be a super coder or unbelievably good at math or anything like that? Or is it okay to still be a slightly average on one hand of it, but it's still good for this career path? I mean, I think ma'am can take it and then sir can take it up, whichever way.
I thought you were having an answer, Charapit, so you.
No. I'm good. No. I think you take it. You're the one who's been recruiting and you're a practitioner. You've seen a lot of this. I'll pitch it at the end, but I think you should take it. Yeah.
Right. So for example, if it is a data scientist, absolutely important that the person is very good in math, right? Math is extremely important, followed by good amount of Python and R skills as of today. But then as we move further, whatever technology comes at that point in time. But as of today, a good handle on Python and R to express and build models in using those tools is very important. Also is important that you are at least able to work with the production systems to take your model into production based on some level of guidelines, etc. At least the ability to pick up a production ability to kind of put your model in a production systems following some level of procedures and processes set for that is important. More than all of that, there is some level of understanding of business that is very important. So you need to be able to understand and empathize with the business problem or empathize with the problem that the company is facing, right? And then of course understanding of data. I'm calling understanding of data as a separate point from understanding math. Math is important to understand how it works, how the algorithms work. All that working knowledge is important, but at the same time you will have to understand on what you're applying this to, and for that having the patience to go through data, getting an intuition of how these distributions in data work, what is happening in this, and finally a nuance that tells people how to apply different algorithms and techniques to the data at hand, right? That's very important. So knowledge is so much only knowledge. If you don't apply it, and just theory, right? So you can't do anything out of it. You can't harness the power of knowledge if you don't know how to apply it. To apply it, you need to know the application better, which means you need to understand the business better, you need to understand the underlying data better, then you need to know how to connect things, right? And that gives you an edge over a lot of things as you build your career, right? Initially, you might get an entry into a company because of knowledge, because that's easy to test, right? But as you build your career, what becomes more important is how do you start applying? So, I've kind of said this in many forums also. Data science is where you mix your left and right brain well. So it's not only about a left brain thing, but that's very important. So, meaning without understanding math, without knowing logic, you can't do much in this field. But the left and right brain mix is extremely important. You need to know how to apply your knowledge. You need to understand, for example, user experience, right? Design might look completely away, like not even anywhere near data science. But it is extremely important for a data scientist to understand how do they work with design, how do they work with user experience. There can be some problems that can be just solved by user experience rather than breaking your head on a predictive model, right? So you should know when to step back, when to say this is where you should apply a complex solution. When can you solve with common sense? Maybe that's an understated fact that this field requires fairly a lot amount of common sense.
Thank you, ma'am. So, I mean, that is, the what you've said clearly indicates that along with all this knowledge about data and math and all these skills with coding and languages, the domain knowledge is also very important. So, the domain that you're actually working in, you need to understand what that particular domain and industry requires. It's going to be very hard to gel in over there.
Yeah, right.
So, yes, Charanpreet sir, I'm asking this for you. You work with young aspirants and given them their first break in data science careers. So, what have you seen as some of the common traits or what are the common traits that you've noticed have brought these students to those successful levels that they are, those who've graduated and done really well?
Yeah, good. I think we have so many of them who have done that. So again, I was listening to Matangi when she was describing what all a data scientist should be good at, and I'm sure some of you already got the feeling that needs to be a super person, right? Needs to be good at data engineering, needs to be good at algorithms, needs to be good at domain, needs to be good at math, needs to be good at Python and R. So it is you do need a person who's willing to do all this, right? So I'm not even going there because I think Madangi really knows this well. So I will look at the other aspects which I have seen. So we get people who have tech backgrounds, engineering and all that. We get a lot of people who have ecostat math as their background and not engineering as their background. And engineering need not be computer science; it could be other engineering as well. We get BScs in other things. We even get people without a tech background, but we've started recruiting a few of them because we realize 3-4 things we've seen. One is curiosity. Because data science is about digging and discovering. So if you're not curious about things, you don't become a good data scientist. Why is this happening? I need to, why is this behaving like this? And so that is one. So I think it's a huge, I think input or raw material for learning is curiosity. The other is passion for problem solving. So sometimes I ask people in interviews when I'm recruiting for Praxis, do you do Sudoku? So if you do Sudoku, I know that in the morning if you don't solve one, you don't feel good. So you want to solve that problem. So you need not be really good at math, but then that's part we can teach you. But this whole thing that I want to solve this problem. So that is another one which I then critical thinking. Very difficult to define that. But do I come to conclusions quickly because it suits me? Or do I say that maybe this is not the answer, maybe I need to look at other things, because the model that a data scientist develops, that is going to actually fashion decision making in a company. So you don't jump to conclusions. You are not part of what we call the WhatsApp university. Your opinion should not be fashioned by the last WhatsApp you got, right? So you have to critically think about what you're doing and what others are telling you, and say that even if a domain guy tells me that this happens because of this, could something else also be contributing to it? So when we have debates in class, the people who are skeptical and say that, how are you sure it happened? Because why can't this happen or why can't that? They turn out to be very good data scientists. I don't know if Matangi would agree with me or not, But these are some, and of course the ability to collaborate, because she already told you, right? You have to talk to clients, you have to talk to your data engineers, you have to talk to your production guys, your production analysts. So you should also, and you have to be empathetic. I really like that word. You have to have empathy for the business. You can't stand there as an arrogant expert saying that, I know more about your business than you do, because you don't. Yeah. So you're supporting the business, you're not running it in that sense. Right. So I think these skills, and so I like argumentative people in the class, because I think eventually they become good data scientists, provided their arguments are to improve things and not to prove a point. I mean, but if you like problem solving and you're curious about things, I think everything else, I think can be managed. Yeah, I think I really feel that now. Yeah.
To sum it up, I mean, curiosity, passion for problem solving, critical thinking, and the ability to collaborate.
Yeah.
4 essential things, and that'll make a good data scientist in the future.
Yeah, I would say so.
And also somebody who argues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes as a manager, I don't like it, but then yeah, they bring the best out. So.
Okay, so now that we've seen these amazing important skills that one requires, how does a young aspirant acquire these skills? So I look at it the perspective of most of us here being students, freshers, and beginners who are looking to get a break into this industry. So what can they do to acquire these skills, either courses or to get internships? And if it comes to internships, what kind of internship opportunities should they look out for, and how can they prepare themselves for these opportunities? Because when they have to get in for the internship, there may be a certain skills that they're looking for. So how does the young aspirant prepare themselves to get through the interview, I'd say? Matangi ma'am, you can take this.
Okay. Courses, right? Certainly Praxis is one of the courses that people should consider. It kind of gives you a well laid out plan and gives you the enough time to prepare. A part-time course kind of comes in way in terms of your regular work or regular studies that you do, and then it gives you a lesser bandwidth to learn a large field. So, and hence a full-time course certainly helps. Yeah, so that's one point. Secondly, is that internships, if we specifically talk about, so internships are, so it depends on organizations, right? Some organizations have a policy of taking interns and then converting them. So large organizations do. Some of the tech startups may not be looking out, tech startups, high growth. The internship may not be that high, but I have in my experience converted a few of the interns, right? So if you do get an opportunity to intern, then that's a great way to learn about data science. And it is so you practice, you pick up the right problems, you are exposed to the right meetings, how how things work. And people come up when interns join us, they kind of come with a certain level of perception about how the real world works. So but when they, by the time the internship is over, like let's say even if it's a short internship of 3 months, etc., they by the time would have learned or unlearned a lot of things of preconceived things that they learned, right? A lot is not about only algorithms. A lot is about, like I said, a lot of things, and they could practice that. So internship is a great way to learn this field. It will also give you a very thorough and a quick check whether you are for this field or not, right? It's that way brutal as well. But it's certainly a great way to get there. So if you, one of the ways to kind of differentiate your resume, let's say you're applying in the open market, is a lot of LinkedIn messages. Second is, of course, some of the hackathons, or a lot of companies do hackathons. So that is one way to kind of prove yourself and say that we have worked on real world decision science problems. Yeah, and the other one is just practice, right? So if you can keep on practicing on a lot of data sets that's out there, apply for hackathons, and then keep an open mind, and keep looking for and applying for some of these jobs. Think, yeah, that's one way to possibly get in and get an opportunity for internships.
Charanpreet sir, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, I think that if you have the time, and then I think you need to see, because you're investing in your career, and this is going to be an exciting career, and it's going to grow bigger. There is no doubt about it. So it might make a good, might make a lot of good sense to invest in that career and give it full time. So I mean, I'm saying that you give it 2 years. I mean, great, because you want to get into it instead of an MBA. Why not do a diploma or this thing in data science, or do an MBA in data science if you want to do that as well, right? So we do that. We give that option. Others also do that. So I think that giving time, because this takes time to assimilate. These are complex things. These are not easy, right? So as Matangi said, if you're doing part time, you're working. So if you're a good resource, you will be given a good job, and that job will take away, and there will be demands put on you to do well in that job, and you are you like to perform well, so you're not going to compromise your job to start learning. So it becomes quite tough. However, if you don't have the time, as we call what a time poor adult, and you need to learn, but you're still excited, I think you can look at online courses, you can look at some part-time work. But then discipline becomes very important, where you need to, and also the ability to learn on your own, because you may not get that kind of guidance that you'll get in the in a full-time program, right? So you get stuck, you'll have to then but there are some people who are very good at it, so you can do that. Okay. In terms of interns, of course, internships are very useful. But again, today, even there is, because data science is what it is today, there is a lot of competition for internships. So to get an internship, you need to have a threshold of ability, because nobody's going to take somebody who knows nothing about data science. And the interns are not good. They're not developers or trainers for you. Yeah. So they would want you to also contribute, and of course, you'll learn a lot. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You can do online courses, you can do projects, you can get into places like Kaggle, and go and start solving. You have to have the courage to go into the world and say, okay, I'm also going to try and solve this problem, and don't worry about whether you're good at it or not, because it doesn't matter, right? And there's anonymity in numbers. I mean, there are lots of people doing that, right? So if you're really passionate, you'll find a way, right? But I think if you have the time, I think a full-time program where you have peers to learn from, you have professors to guide you, there is a structure to the program, so you know how it flows, and then you have a campus placement program, so companies who come, they know what they are getting, and all of that. So that becomes a very good ecosystem, and then you become part of an alumni, which again helps you, because there's a heritage there, and finally, I mean, getting jobs is about human relationships eventually. Right? I mean, so all of that. So I think that you have to pick your path. There are several paths, but I think you will need to invest time and a lot of intellectual energy and emotional energy to become good at this. It's a great and exciting career, but it's a little difficult to get into it at the beginning. That's the way I would.
That's right. Okay. The entry barriers are very high, maybe because of there is a lot of competition and all that. It's very high entry barriers. I mean, sustaining also is tough, but
yeah. But I always feel, Matangi, that entry is the toughest. So our students tell us that the kind of complexities we went through trying getting the job, and now that I'm working, I'm not doing that kind of stuff here actually. The questions were far tougher to answer than the work I'm doing here, right? So yeah, I think that getting past that first interview and getting a job in data science, I think most of the people you have in your community, if they crack a job, I'm pretty confident. I've seen only 4 or 5 of you, but the feeling I get is that they'll do really well. Okay, yeah. So
that's a nice way to put it. It's like cross that first thing, and then it's okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so now for a slightly lighter note, what is an average day in your life as a life of a data scientist? What does an average day look like? And also, being such a senior data scientist now, so you do take the time out to teach at Praxis. So what inspires you to do this?
Yeah, so a tough job inspires me to teach at Praxis, because I get my fulfillment there. So So yeah, I kind of like to interact with people, share my knowledge, and also during some interaction, people ask questions, and then you think, yes, this is one way to think about it, right? So that certainly keeps me going, and that's why I teach at Praxis. Now coming to my day job, yeah. So I'm in a leadership role, so there's a lot of data scientists reporting to me. So my day looks a little different from, let us say, an entry level data scientist. Somebody who's completely hands on. So I'll talk about me. In my case, it's very important for me, in a job that I do some meaningful things, right? And that's actually keeps me going. And so if I don't do impactful stuff, then I don't feel like I'm adding value, and then I don't pursue that job further, in fact. So for me, making an impact is very, very important. So I work with a lot of business stakeholders and product managers, and do a lot of solutions we do, and then we see how we can whether the solution actually makes sense, whether the user experience would be good once we build a data science model. For example, if it is a search problem, we look at whether that kind of an user experience makes a difference, or it doesn't make a difference, and then what should we do. We work together as a team, then we work with designers, we work with engineering, we work with product. We also understand from the business what do the rest, for example, in GoFood, right, which I'm part of, what the restaurants wants and what they don't want, etc. What is the sentiment of the drivers? Considering all these pillars, we build a solution. And then so those occupy some part of my day. Some part of my day also gets occupied by shaping up careers of people, in terms of building a career path, in terms of understanding what people want, what we should change, and again, are there any roles that needs to be filled, for example, or there are types of roles that we should start thinking about. Are there specialist skills that we are missing in the team, etc. So that's another part of my job. And the third part of my job is also about recruiting people, and make sure the right panel is there, and we have a much more consistent way of rating people, etc. Right. So, and then there's another part of the job which runs through all the three jobs that I said, which is fundamentally innovation. How do we constantly innovate? How do we build data solutions that kind of take the company from one level to the next level? Right. So those would be my four angles, and there are a lot of discussions, meetings, arguments on all of these.
That's a very, very busy day. Oh my God. And you still take the time out to interact with students and help and train them. So I mean, it's really inspiring to see that you're passionate about this.
Yeah, so this job can be done only if you are passionate about it. It's very heavy and very long hours. So, but it makes a lot of difference to know that you can make a difference to a true consumer life through data and technology. Sorry, I'm going to just switch on the light. I think it's becoming dark.
Sure. Tarunpreet, so how about you? What does an average day in your life look like?
Oh, yeah, much. I mean, it's more about, if I'm not teaching, I have a lighter day. If I'm teaching, then yeah, then there is a lot of preparation, and so so I have a mix of work to do in the academic part, as well as the overall growing Praxis part, or taking it apart, taking it to the next level. And there also, argumentation is welcome always. There would be, and so which, like, we are launching data engineering, we launch cybersecurity, so which products to look, how do we look at skill requirements, how do we match it, how do we look at our own skills, and how do we develop them, and all, I mean, the regular, I mean, you're basically, when you're running an education institution, it's like running a company. It's just that it's just that in some sense it's even more critical, because you are trying to build careers, and you don't want to go wrong there, because wrong decisions over there could be very costly. So we have to keep that in mind. And of course, student expectations, it's a moving target, right? It's always higher than what you can do, which is great. I mean, it keeps us on our toes. Okay, right. And yeah, and also we work very closely with the industry. We have partners in the industry, so taking feedback from them and keeping in touch with them to find out what's happening. Yeah, all of that, right? So, and making sure that just like any other brand, we have the right language and the right tone when we go out into the world and we represent ourselves. All of that. So you have to do all of this. Yeah.
That was great. Thank you. So now that we've come to the end of the very heavy questions, I'd say. So on some fun right now. So I'm gonna have a rapid fire. I'm gonna direct a question to each of you. So it'll not be the same question because then you can think of your answer. I'm gonna direct different questions to both of you, and you have to give your answer as quickly as possible. So questions could be just fun, it could be slightly data science related as well. So the first question is, yes, ma'am.
We can say pass to the questions, right? As long as that is allowed as an answer, we can say no problem.
No. Absolutely no cheating like that.
Yeah.
The first question is to Charanpreet sir.
Okay.
One book you would recommend all of us have to read.
One book. Two is good.
Okay, yes, two is also good.
So one book that I read when I was at school and I still read once in a while is a book called The Little Prince.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazingly kind of an honest and inspiring book, and also it'll help, very suited to this generation which doesn't like to read 500-page books. It's a really small one, and it's also got infographics, it's got pictures as well. So yeah, I think that is a great book. I really I would want everybody to read that. I think I would stick to that. Yeah, I think let's stick to the
Okay.
yeah. So if you had to pick one book, I would pick that.
Matangi ma'am, from your side?
Oh, you're asking the book question, is it? So I'm thinking. So I read quite a number of books with my daughter. So I'm just thinking, which one to say. Like I'm not able to recollect a particular book that we have to read. I read a lot of mythology books, so I do draw a lot of inspiration from the Hindu mythology. So yeah, there is tons of knowledge there. Yes. Right.
Completely agree.
Stories from Mahabharata, especially.
Yes.
Very pivotal.
Okay, next is to Matangi ma'am. One software you think every aspiring data scientist must invest their time in learning.
Yes, undoubtedly Python.
Okay.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we
Those of us who
actually
still not learned it are going up to this and starting their journey.
yeah. So we say that at Praxis, so we even our PGDM students have to go through Python. I'm sure we lose a few students during the admission stage already because they say, I want to do business management. I don't want to go start coding, right? So irrespective of whether you have a background in arts or commerce or whatever. So we say that, you need, apart from your mother tongue, you need to be good at two languages. One is English, the other is Python. It's important now. I'm telling you. Yes, so, yeah.
You can still manage with the poor English, but not with the poor Python.
Correct. Absolutely, because the machine can't correct for your errors, right?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely right. So yeah, that's true.
Okay, one must-watch movie you'd recommend. Both of you can take a shot at this. One movie each.
I watch all light movies. I don't know if there is a deeply connecting movie. I liked about I think the McDonald's that movie was very good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I could resonate quite a bit there.
And sir, your side?
Yeah, so I'm a bit of a movie buff and I watch a lot of serious cinema. So So my all-time favorite is a film called The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman, and it's got death and all that, but it's not that macabre. I mean, it's a great film. And I've seen one film which I think all of us should watch. It's a documentary on Netflix, and you will all relate to it. It's called The Social Dilemma, right? And I think that kind of tries to get us back to some sanity around what is happening there and how our lives are being manipulated. I think we at least need to be aware of that. So yeah. So I think these two.
Okay, so now that's going into all the playlists of all the people here. I mean, watch this who have not yet watched it. Okay, so this question can be taken by both of you. One company all analytics enthusiasts must surely explore for job opportunities.
I mean, being in Gojek, how can I say anything else? So,
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's Google. I mean, the mother of all analytics. I mean, starting from their search engine, yeah. So would be everybody should.
That's a great answer. Okay. A learning from your career journey that you'd like to share with all the attendees here today. Both of you can go. So, ma'am, you can go first. One learning, and then sir, one learning from you.
learning is a constant process. The most important thing about learning is to unlearn, right? So if you fix yourself on learning, you're not going to learn anything else. So things keep changing, and it's not only about technology. I'm talking about organization, cultures, way people interact. What is considered, great or good or accepted at one point is no more accepted now. So one constant thing is, and I learn this every day, is to unlearn.
That's great. That's very, very important too. So,
Yeah, I think one learning is to become a better learner. So you need to be, what we call meta learning. That you need to be aware of how you are as a learner. So you have to reflect on your own learning to know how you learn and then improve. So because if you are going to navigate this world, the speed of change and the magnitude of change has never been seen before this kind. So for people at my age, it's a real challenge. So we have to become better learners. So that is one. And the second one, I'm borrowing from an article I read by somebody, I forget who it was, a very inspiring person. So I think it's like Gulzar, who borrowed lots of good things and brought them to our audiences. I have no shame in borrowing three things: be bold, think deeply, and help others. Okay, so I think learning also requires courage. If you ask a 55-year-old person that you have to learn Python, it requires a lot of courage to say, okay, fine, I'll get my hands dirty and do it. So even at 25, it requires courage to learn new things. So I think one is to be bold, then think deeply, because that's how you will learn more about everything and do well. And it will make you empathetic also if you think deeply, and help others always. I think always good to do that. Yeah.
thank you, sir. And now moving on to the chat box been buzzing from that time. Lots of questions from all our viewers. So moving to the audience Q&A. Those of you who have not yet asked your questions, please use the Q&A box to send in your questions, and you'll make sure we can address as many as we can. The first question is from Matangi ma'am. And towards the beginning of the session, you said that AI and data science can be used interchangeably, and they want you to elaborate on this.
So AI and data science are interchangeable. I think if different people give you different definitions on it, it's wrong. Fundamentally, you are building a AI solution, and you have algorithmic fundamentals. You are understanding data. You are like applying it to a business. So that's it. There is nothing more complicated than this. And that is AI. You are building an AI solution. Possibly, data science maybe you could say you could apply to some batch solutions, whereas AI could be more real time, like a self-drive car and all that. But everything is, even if you run it on your phone, it is the same data, same algorithm, and same fundamentals. So yeah, there is no difference.
A question from Siddharth. He says that he enjoys learning math, but he wants to know where will his knowledge of math and what is in that knowledge of math will assist him in data science, particularly in artificial intelligence and machine learning.
So as Siddharth learns math, as he learns algorithms, he can see the relevance of matrix multiplication. He can see the relevance of differentiation. He can see relevance of some of the fundamental concepts of math, making a big difference, playing an important role in the algorithms. So hence he would learn to love how algorithms work if he is a good learner of math. If his fundamentals in maths are strong, your algorithms learning will be so much better.
So anything you'd like to add?
I think that this whole area of data science and data professional part, I think it's a great boon for people who love math. Because because normally in a regular everyday job you sometimes don't really get to learn math, and the other thing is you do a master's or a PhD in math, and everybody doesn't do that, right? But here you actually get the value of a skill that you have, and you can actually apply it. So I think it's so for me, anybody who's good at math and is not afraid of technology, likes technology, I think this is a great game.
There's a question. Okay, that's regarding the availability of jobs. So, has data science and the availability of data scientist jobs progressed in the coming years, or will it keep progressing in the coming years? And okay, it specifically has asked in Bangalore. You can answer generically also.
Sarapri, do you want to take the question?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously yes. I mean, and Bangalore is the nerve center of data science in the country, right? So if at any place it is going to grow, it's Bangalore, and it will grow. I think I have a very simple equation here. As we get more and more digitalized, as we start using IoT, another another gorilla is coming into the room very soon, which is 5G. Okay. So when you have all of that, the amount of data that you'll generate is just going to explode. It's already exploded. So everything an average human being is going to wear 5 things that are going to be connected to the net very soon. I think 5 to 7 devices, right? After this COVID, I think wearable devices for monitoring health are going to go up. So when all this data is going to be generated, you will need more people with the skills to be able to do something useful with this data. So there will be a lot of automation, okay? But despite that, you will require more and more people with. So what I say, data fluent people who can work with data. So you can engineer data, you can analyze data, you can secure data, you can become a cybersecurity expert. You can be a content writer who understands data, right? So I mean, data as an understanding of that and the whole thing, I think is going to go up. So it's going to, I don't see any, unlike Matangi, would you want to comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's Bangalore is a big hub. Right after Silicon Valley, it's a big booming place for data science. You could see all the tech giants setting up their shops here, and these are not even like back office kind of thing, right? These are data science tech centers, for example, contribute to mainstream product. There are leaders who sit here who influence a lot of business decisions sitting from Bangalore for some of the Silicon Valley companies. But even otherwise, there are homegrown, Indian startups out there who are investing big into data science. And India itself is a huge market, right? And it kind of any consumer company just holds so much data. And it's like every other day, you whenever I talk to people, you hear some great innovation happening in this field. These could be fairly startup companies, but then there's a lot of innovations going on there, be it in healthcare or be it in automotive, right, self-drive and all those kind of technologies also. So it's going to boom. It's going to further only increase.
Absolutely. As long as there's data, there's going to be an increase in the jobs. That data isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
So there's another question related to both of you. So when you started working in this field, how hard was it for you to evolve And considering the data science buzz has come in only 2 to 3 years ago, how hard was it at that point to keep progressing?
I think this Matangi will answer because I've never worked as a practitioner in this field. So I think, yeah.
So I started into analytics, what is now called as analytics, but we were doing similar thing back then also. So we used to put credit score models that run live on authentication systems, right? So these are when you swipe the credit card, it actually checks for whether this transaction has to be approved or not. So if you're below the limit, it's okay, it'll anyway go through, right? But if you're above the limit, there is some cap, for example, banks place so that the transaction can go through. So even deciding those cap was done by data science models. Or at the point of sale, if somebody is going to get a credit card done or not, those were applied. So the field was called analytics, but I was the fundamentals don't go away; they remain the same. Of course, new algorithms have come. It is not like whatever we used 15 years back is what we are using today. They are very different. But given fundamentals are same, given the understanding and the intuition of data is same, it becomes very easy to evolve in this field. You have to keep your eyes and ears open. You have to keep constantly updating your skills, constantly studying, constantly learning things, constantly exploring things. All that is there. But if you can do that, your just experience just adds to the kind of quality you can bring to some of the data science solutions, right? Because you've now grown with, you've seen a lot of businesses, you've seen the adoption of data science, you know when things fail, most importantly, and you know how to put the right guardrails so that things don't fail. So that evolution, happens with as you expose yourself to more business problem, as you start creating more impact, etc. But if you will also, as a practitioner, has to learn and keep updating your knowledge. That is the tough part, like, because at one end, as your responsibilities in the job also increase, you don't no longer have the time to sit and build models all day long. So you'll have to be quick at grasping some of these things, spending time outside your work hours to get this. But you also add a lot of value because you've seen a lot of cases, you have seen a lot of failures. That kind of makes you a better leader in the data science space.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, okay, it's an anonymous attendee who says he's a statistics student interested in pursuing data science, who wants to know where he can start from. So does he need to opt for special courses in data science in MSc? Currently doing his BSc second year.
Yeah, so any course he can do, that is going to only add. So I'm not going to say don't do a course and get a job. Certainly it helps doing a course specialized if he's very particular in data science. Doing a course very specialized in data science does a lot of help. We spoke about the competition at the entry level in the industry. You will just be more, you could stand out when you kind of trying to get a job, etc. So doing that helps, doing, if you can get to industry level projects or internship projects, that's going to be helpful. Participate in hackathons, keep practicing, keep improving on your skills, apart from also focusing on a good PG degree.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think statistics is a great place to start already. So he's already in the second year of statistics. But as I said, the way this is data science has evolved, it's now statistics plus 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 plus. A lot of other things have come in, more from the AI side, right? So yeah, so I think that, as Matangi said, that the competition is so severe right now, that you would be, and you're young right now, so better, if you've decided you want to pursue a data science career, given the base you have in stats, it will be easier for you to get into a program which makes you, which gives you all the other, right after your graduation. And I think you can start learning Python right now. There's no harm. just that you are, and maybe look at statistics more, application of stats in data science. Start reading up on it find out what's happening, download a couple of online courses. As you're a student, you have time. Maybe R is a great thing to learn for stats. Maybe it's being taught also in some colleges now at the BSc level. So I don't know where he comes from, which college, but yeah, that'll help.
So I think we'll take the last two questions before we wrap up. So one of them is, could you elaborate a little bit about the field of actuarial science? Would either of you like to?
Chandrit, you want to go for it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, actuarial sciences are basically, yeah, I mean, we've in fact had a couple of people who are doing their actuarial course and they dropped it so there are several levels and they did a few levels and they came and then did our program and then went back to the data science thing. So I think actuarial sciences are more to do with, they're mathematically extremely challenging. To actually become an actuary, so to speak, is a very long, pretty long process. I'm just talking from what I know. I've never been engaged with that. And one of the applications that I know of is that, how do you design and price insurance products, right? So the risk versus the value that you get out of it and all of that. So that kind of can get pretty complex, and it's very high level stats and math driven, right? So if you are it's also a great place to be, because again there is a good supply demand gap there, right? I think from the last time I knew that we require more and more people to be good at this, right? So if you want to go there, it's a great but I think it's a little more you are kind of wedded to pretty much a small group of industries, and it's a very deep career, but it's not a broad career. Later on, of course, you could use these skills elsewhere also, but if you want to be an actuary or you want to be part of the actuarial science, whereas data science is kind of a broader, it has a broader landscape to work. I mean, I don't know, Mataki, if I made any sense there.
No, it's not a deep, it's not a broader science. Meaning, if I can take the liberty to say one thing about it. So when NLP was there, right, like let's say the late 90s or the 2000, even till 2010, you will see a lot of linguists doing NLP, right? That field was not taken by computer science. Plus 2010 plus, the field is just being ruled by computer scientists now, right? You don't need to know language, grammar rules, and semantic rules and things like that to build an NLP model. Right? All you need to know, maybe BERT, GPT, fundamentals, of how to convert text to numbers, etc. So I think the actuarials is going to go through a similar phase, right? Because a lot of insurance related problems are today being solved by machine learning and computer science. So claim processing, claim praising, and risk models, all of that, there's an equal amount of footprint coming from the machine learning world, right? Of course, I don't know much into it, but there is a good chance that machine learning can take over how computer science took over the linguist kind of specialization. I don't know if there is a compliance to actuaries and the only actuaries have to sign off a particular product, etc. But speaking purely from a machine learning angle, it's a classic machine learning problem that gets solved. Meaning any insurance company you talk to, they will tell you tons of machine learning problems that get solved, which at some point is a actuarial domain problem, pricing and claim and the table that they make of how many years and what is the premium, etc. That is being a lot taken over by data, right? And yes, so some of the image processing work is also coming into insurance, which nobody would have thought earlier, right? Like live tracking and liveliness check and KYC checks and everything. And hence it may make sense to little bit check between data science and actuaries before you, try to make that as a career. I think it's absolutely politically wrong to say that.
Okay, so that was our last question from the audience. I know there are some more questions and all of you have lots of questions in your mind. It's okay. You can put them in the chat. We will compile them, send them across, and make sure we get you answers to those questions. you can join us as members, supporters. So you can join us as members, and you can join our Facebook group and Telegram group. So we will keep interacting with you over there. But before we end, there's a very exciting announcement for all of you from Charanpreet sir. So I'd like to hand it over to him for the announcement now.
Yeah, thanks, Sneha, and thanks Matangi and Madhura and everybody and Hila for a great session that we had today. I hope there was some value to it for the people who listened to us for a reasonable long time, an hour and a
I
half.
absolutely loved it. I mean, I have wanted to have a career in data science, and now I've just fallen in love all over again. That's what's happened right now.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. So what we thought was, since we are launching this whole association with Aspire for Her today, so we also feel that we need. I mean, I think every career needs more women to get in, but tech especially so, because traditionally there haven't been enough participation from the from gender diversity in tech. So we want to introduce it into the Praxis program. Our recruiters also talk about it all the time. So I think it's aligned with what the country wants to do, and where it wants to go. So to kind of nudge people into getting to come to study these things. So what we thought was that we would offer a kind of an incentive for women who want to pursue careers in tech. So we have 4 products. We have the PGDM, which I say that for we don't give a choice. Even your PGDM is going to be pretty tech. Okay, I mean, you learn fintech, you learn fundamentals of data science, you learn Python, all of that, and data visualization in your first year. Second year, you can take something far away, but then even if you study brand management at Praxis, you'll study tech, a little bit of tech, and consumer analytics and all that, because it is becoming like that. You can't separate the two, right? So we don't want to do that, right? So we have PGDM, then we have a program in data science, which just got ranked 2 in the country just yesterday. So we're very happy with that. And then we have a program in secure data in cyber security, which again, to me, is a data. There is a data, we are trying to secure the data. So you become a cyber warrior, you secure the company's data, the country's data. It's a great thing to get into. And we are launching another program in data engineering. So for the 3 programs that we have, which are off PGDM, the data science, the data engineering, and the data cyber security, we would like to, offer a 20% off on that, out of which 5% will go to the AFH cause, because we are very passionate about it, and 15% goes directly to the student. And for the PGDM, we offer a 15% overall kind of a scholarship, which again is broken up into 5% that goes for the cause and 10% that goes directly to the student. So the first 5 people who apply for and get selected to the Praxis program, and there'll be some other details which would be academic in nature. You need to have you need to be beyond certain thresholds in your academic history. I will share all the details with Madhura, and then you can kind of. But we just thought that we want to make a beginning with a bit of a noise. So this is what we want to offer to the platform, and we look forward to people. So I'm very clear about this. Whether you do it at Praxis or you do it at our neighbors, I think that it's a great area. Become a data professional, whichever way you want to, because I graduated. I did my MBA in 1990 in the US, and my guide in the US, you have a guide, and my guide told me that make data your career. So she was a visionary, So I'm still saying the same thing to all of you, right? So
That's a very exciting announcement, and that's going to go up on social media just after this. So stay tuned, go follow our pages so you know as soon as it comes out, and go apply immediately because it's only the first 5 applicants. And we're super excited to see you start your learning journey with us in Praxis.
Thank you so much. Thank you, CP. I think we couldn't have asked for anything more. This is absolutely wonderful. And I think what they have just done is to ensure that in India, there are more and more women who actually use the CP's last line, making data their career. Yeah. And we just really need more of them. We really need more of them. And Aspire for Her is extremely delighted to support this kind of career. And we hope that all of you grow up to follow absolutely amazing careers. That's our tagline. And thank you very much for being with us this evening. Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, CP, Matangi, Ila, and Kaushik, and Shishti, Yashashvi, all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And to all of you guys who took the time out on Saturday evening to spend time learning about data, you have very bright futures, I can tell you that.
Thanks everyone. Nice interaction. Thanks, Neha, for those questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Madhura. Thanks, Charanpreet, and thanks, Ila. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so
everybody.
much. It was really great. Bye. And for those of you who have questions about how you can join us, so we've been circulating the member and supporter links in the chat. So all women in the age group of 18 to 25, you can join us as members using the member link, and everybody else is welcome to join us as supporters. As soon as you join us, you will get an email with the link to join our Telegram groups. You don't have to worry about that. And also do follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can keep seeing such amazing sessions and know about all the amazing stuff that we keep doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sneha.
Bye.
Bye.